Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hi.
MCU is colliding together. What is that like, having all these franchise films come together in one movie for you?
It's ridiculous.
It's incredible.
I mean, look at that poster. It's ridiculous. It's a lot of superheroes up there.
A lot of worlds colliding.
Yeah.
And everyone's been talking about how there was no fun offset making this film.
Never.
It was fun when Josh Brolin wasn't around. As soon as Josh comes on the set, it's like Debbie Downer's here.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah.
Speaking of Josh, Thanos, supervillain. What can audiences expect from the new supervillain Thanos?
A lot of villainy.
He lives up to the hype.
Yeah,
he really
does. He does.
He really does live up to the hype, and it's not an easy burden to carry, man. It's I mean, because it's all the Avengers, all these huge personalities, and one supervillain.
Well, all the Avengers and the Guardians connecting in this film. How was that for you, John?
It was great. I mean, it was fun to get this infusion of new blood, and Tom Holland and Benedict and all of these characters coming from these different, their different worlds, and T'Challa, Black Panther in there. So in Deny, everybody just coming together for this one storyline is pretty epic.
These are theatrical generic questions, and I have on here to ask you about Drax meeting Thor.
I think right off the bat, Drax is, as well as the rest of Guardians, and as well as the rest of the Marvel Universe, is just super impressed with Thor, we're just in awe of him. He's just like this god, man. We just can't, and when we first meet him, we just can't get over how perfect he is. And Drax just wants to point it out over and over and over in just the most ridiculous ways of how handsome and perfect this specimen is.
How proportional. And they're so proportional.
And Mantis comes into this Avengers world for the first time with all the other Guardians. How was the experience for you, Pom?
It was so much fun. The first day of shoot, we were shooting with Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, Chris Hemsworth, and the Guardians, and we're just all looking at each other and just, thinking, oh, wow, this is happening.
It was
crazy.
It was fun. It was a fun scene. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to jump around. It was fun.
She was on these ones.
I was just like jumping.
Oh, I love it. Good.
And Don, where do we find your character at the beginning of this film?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I know I'm in it, and I think I'm in I'm not sure how much of it I'm in, and we don't know, but, we find him actually, coming back sort of to himself after what happened in the last film when we saw him in Civil War, and kind of having to negotiate these relationships again with these people that were kind of at odds. So it's good to have something to play and something deep that's happening as a counterpoint to all the fantastical stuff.
And talk to us about working with the Russo Brothers.
Who are that? Who's that?
There's somebody in the Marvel MCU.
Oh, the directors.
Oh, yes. That's
okay,
yes.
I remember them. Yeah. It's like most directors that we work with. We just ignore them and do what we want. No, it was cool. It was very cool. They clearly have an understanding of this world, and they were working on it for 3 years, from the beginning to the end. And, it's just a huge undertaking, and but it's great to have, people that you can always turn to when you're kind of lost in all of this and say, where am I? Where do we come from? Where are we headed? What's the storyline? How is this connected to that? How did that reference this? And they're, always equipped with a good answer.
And they're really interesting because they have a very clear vision, but they're also very open-minded.
Yeah.
Like they really give you a lot of freedom, and they're just really willing to hear what you think, especially if it's involving your character. Especially with us as a group, the Guardians, they were really just willing to let us just do our thing, man. And it was great. And they're also, I love them. Everything's a conversation with them. They're not, they always come on to talk to you. They're not screaming stuff at you all the time. But it's interesting to watch them interact with one another as well and see how their creative process works.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm also supposed to ask you to boil this experience down into one word. Hopefully it's a good word.
I mean, I feel like I say that all the time. It's exciting, but I feel like I'm excited about so many things about this movie. The movie.
What would your word be?
I hate to keep saying this, but this word keeps popping in my head, and it's a little generic, but epic. Just so epic.
Epic.
That was going to be my word.
Sorry.
Lunch. Lunch.
Yeah, I'm stealing. So I stole your.
You stole my word. You
Now I'm stealing your
my
thing.
pose.
Epic lunch.
Epic lunch.
Or like marvelous. Marvelous.
Nice.
All right,
beautiful
perfect.
word.
Those are my
Pretty
questions. Because the other last question
Try.
was, what do you expect the audiences to take from the film? But y'all haven't seen the film.
Try.
This is what I'm taking from
Try.
Don.
What is
I'm
treat?
stealing this. What do you think of that?
I like it. Don, you okay with that?
What did he say?
He's gonna
He's
take
in my
that from
pose,
you.
so whatever he says is perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, whatever he
Like
says
this.
is perfect.
Is that the serious pose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter what I say, they're just if I do this pose, they're gonna take me seriously.
Yeah.
And even if it's like the most ridiculous.
Try it at the DMV, it works.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey, you guys!